Good evening. I am very humbled and honored to introduce myself as the new principal of Nathaniel High School. I can assure you that I share in our school community's dedication to caring for our students every day while providing them with a rigorous and relevant learning environment. I am transitioning to principal after serving 4 years with Dr. Hudson in our school community as assistant principal. In these 4 years, I worked alongside staff and students to further our commitment to our CES 10 common principles and our commitment to honor our diverse student body and families. Together, we have worked continuously to advance racial equity and social justice in our ongoing professional development focus on culturally responsive teaching, project-based learning, and digital learning through our excellence in education. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, the Central District, where I learned from my family and community the values of education, social justice, and service. I began my career in education teaching humanities, economics, and leadership at O'Day High School, focusing on ethnic studies and social justice. As a lifelong learner, I have a deep desire to continue to learn and grow in my leadership and understanding of the impact educational policy has on our opportunities to collectively grow as educators for our students. I am currently earning my doctorate in education from the University of Washington with a focus on educational leadership and policy. I believe in our Nathaniel mission of growing honorable, skillful, thinking, and global citizens. This requires that we continually grow in our capacity to build 21st century learners through our ongoing digital learning, project-based learning, and culturally responsive teaching strategies, which all align to the focuses in our profile of a graduate. Understanding our current climate surrounding coronavirus school closures, digital teaching and learning, and our enhanced focus on racial justice, I believe what is most important now is creating a sense of belonging for all students, staff, and community. This requires compassion, trust, and healing. When we introduced our town hall to our school community, we asked our families to identify areas that they hoped would be addressed today. From our collective analysis, we noticed 4 specific trends that our families and community would hope to be addressed. First, there is a desire to know what unites us as a school community at Nathaniel High School. Second, what is Nathaniel's commitment to racial equity and justice, especially considering Black Lives Matter and the current national focus on racial equity and justice in America? Third, how do we engage student voice at Nathaniel? And how have students been engaged during school closure? Lastly, how should students and families be prepared for learning in the fall? What unites us at Nathaniel? We are mission aligned. With our continual focus on growing honorable, skillful, thinking, and global citizens, we are committed to ensuring that we align this mission to our core philosophy as a coalition of essential school. As a CES school, we follow our 10 common principles. We help students learn to use their minds well. We emphasize depth over breadth in our teaching and learning. We apply our goals to all, so we seek to leave no students behind. We personalize our teaching and learning, effectively to meet the needs of all students. We ensure that in our teaching and learning, our teacher is the coach as they build relationships with students to help facilitate a wholesome learning experience. We work to create an environment where mastery is demonstrated through exhibition. We build an environment where our school culture honors trust and decency. We as educators see ourselves as generalists, taking on various school-wide responsibilities. We craft our school budgets reflective of these principles and lean on them when making challenging decisions. And lastly, we model democratic and equitable practices, using a racial equity framework and lens to make decisions to meet the needs of all students. These principles have been so pertinent in this time, considering a less is more approach, personalizing our teaching and learning, applying our goals to all of our students, honoring diversity and equity. All is representative of our commitment to developing 21st century learners and leaders as we ensure that this core philosophy is aligned to our profile of a graduate. Observing our students build agency, develop their creative thinking and problem-solving skills, strengthening their literacy and communication skills, working in groups to have a collaborative approach to taking on challenges, and enhancing their focus on diversity and equity. We as a school community strengthen these skills with our project-based learning approach, our culturally responsive teaching, and our digital learning as a staff and community. We consistently seek opportunities to engage our community partners. Considering our profile of a graduate and our engagement with our families and community, we have exhibition nights where students demonstrate their various mastery skills in different content areas. We have our Bite of Hale fundraiser. We have our Nathan Hale auction fundraiser, our student-led climate action day, our student-led unity in the community, our student-focused culminating senior Hale action project. We have our Meadowbrook Teen Center, where our students can go after school for a safe space to connect with friends for after-school activities. For deeper social, emotional, and clinical support, we also have our on-site teen health clinic, our school nurse, our school counselors, and various community-based organizations willing and excited to offer their support. These are all representing the various ways we engage our community partners, and we have many more partners and events not mentioned. Black Lives Matter and Nathan Hale's commitment to racial equity and justice. We have a robust racial equity team with over 30 members representing students, families, and community members focused on building a safe, welcoming, anti-racist school community. We have a professional development team that is focused on building curricular and instructional practices that are culturally responsive, anti-racist, and that are co-designed with student voice and input. To advance our community engagement efforts in this specific area, we have a new technology task force that includes students, families, and staff focused on building quality, culturally responsive digital learning experiences at Nathan Hale High School. Lastly, we have both a scheduling committee and a mentorship committee that are both seeking student voice and family engagement as we transition into fall learning. Please join us in our efforts and sign up. The following illustrates how we use project-based learning, digital learning, and culturally responsive teaching strategies to advance student voice. We cannot have advanced this work without our students and hearing from the brilliance they bring to us. Most recently, our students have had courageous conversations in classrooms, committees, and clubs about the ongoing fight for racial justice in America, specifically in our surrounding city and community. Namely, our Coalition of Asian Pacific Students have had both an Asian Pacific Heritage Month Assembly online, followed by a student forum focused on Asian and Pacific student experiences and curriculum, both digitally on online formats. This week, our Black Student Union and Coalition of Asian Pacific Students met with our Seattle Public Schools Racial Equity and Advancement Department and held a district-led forum on African American and Asian American experience here in Seattle Public Schools. Our Pride Club held our annual Pride Assembly online to honor Pride Month. They also organized a school-wide forum with our Black Student Union on the intersectionality of being both Black and LGBTQ. Most recently, our Pride Club organized a flag-raising ceremony where we lifted the Pride flag and the Black Lives Matter flag to celebrate Pride Month and stand in solidarity for the fight for racial justice. Last week, to honor our African American student body and staff, our Black Student Union organized Emergence, What Does It Mean to Be Black? Instagram campaign, asking our African American students and staff to submit quotes, art, or any description of what it means to be Black. Lastly, our senior class organized a March for Black Lives community demonstration, honoring all African American students we have lost in our country that will not get to see graduation. I am very proud of our students, staff, and advisors. These events have been in coordination with our community and teachers. This leads to our final focus, this upcoming fall. Our goal is to ensure that our kids are back in the fall. We are not yet sure what our learning will look like, but we are preparing to have school in the fall. In the case that we do have alternate schedules or various learning environments, we are preparing. First, we have our technology task force preparing to build an equitable digital learning experience for our future. Second, our school senate voted unanimously to advance our 3-year continuous school improvement plan, which includes a professional development plan focus on ongoing digital learning and skill development for our educators to best meet the needs of our students in a culturally responsive, project-based learning way. We are equipping ourselves for all circumstances. The focus so far has been getting a sense of how our staff and students has been experiencing this time. We did reach out to our staff to ask, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Where is your capacity right now? And we learned that what is necessary in this time is healing and connections, creating the sense of belonging and trust and decency amongst our community, so we can build that with our kids when we enter school in the fall, whatever that looks like. I encourage you to follow our district website and school bulletin for information regarding fall schedule. What we are certain is that incoming freshmen will be getting laptops from Nathan Hale. We hope that all students that are sophomore, junior, or incoming senior have already received your laptops. Wi-Fi will also be given to students for the upcoming school year if needed. Families that come to Nathan Hale for lunch for meals will still have access to meals throughout the summer. Finally, understanding our current climate surrounding our coronavirus school closures, our digital teaching and learning, and our enhanced focus on racial equity and justice, I believe what is most important now is creating that sense of belonging for our students, staff, and community. This has truly required compassion, trust, and healing. I would like to conclude by thanking you for participating in our first ever digital town hall for our school community. Today, I addressed what unites us as a Nathan Hale school community. I identified our commitment to racial equity and social justice, specifically surrounding Black Lives Matter and racial justice. I expressed the importance of how raising student voice and engaging our students' community during this time has carried so much importance. And lastly, I addressed what we can expect for the fall. More to come. Our hope is that you will leave today prepared to engage and join us in our effort to develop our students to becoming honorable, skillful, thinking, global citizens. Please check our bulletins and communications for upcoming fall plans. Have a great summer. With love, William.